Hello and welcome to the Sabine Solution. The years 13 to 19 can be challenging for both the teenagers and also for the parents or carers. Adolescence is a time of discovery, and this can often lead to frustration, anger and misunderstanding from both sides. They're trying to figure out who they are with the influences of parents, friends, social media. They are constantly exposed to risky behaviour, such as drugs, alcohol, sexual activity, behaviours, and all of these can be seen in films and social media, and also be in schools too. The pressure to fit in, to choose the right path, and to succeed in life can sometimes be really overwhelming for a teenager. We're going to be looking at some of those issues and how best you can support your teenager, but also yourself, and navigate what sometimes can be really challenging times. A helpful starting point is having a better understanding of what your teenager may be going through. What's it like to be a teenager in today's world? Your teenager may be facing these issues on a daily basis, such as body image. Do I fit into what is considered attractive at the moment? If not, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm going to have any friends? Does it mean I'm ever going to have a boyfriend or girlfriend? Am I ever going to be loved? Fitting in could be an issue. Maybe they don't want to party all night. Maybe they want to read a book instead. Or maybe they're discovering their sexuality and are worried that it doesn't fit into their family's ideal. The increase in pressure in terms of school, college, work, exams, constant talk of the future and what may be expected of them. Maybe seeing their friends having qualifications or jobs and maybe feeling left out or even feeling like a failure as a result. Another issue can be hormones. Hormones for a teenager can play havoc with your mind and your body, whether that's hair, spots, mood swings, tiredness, sexual awakening. All these can be challenging at a time when there's so many other changes in your life anyway, such as school and workload and also expectations. So what can you do to support your teenager and yourself? Well, we're going to be looking at some pointers that will be able to give you some support for your teenager and also for yourself, but they might not be all applicable to your life, so very much pick and choose the one that you feel is applicable to you. So one way of doing this is to validate your child's fears and worries, because sometimes as an adult a child's issues or a teenager's issues may feel like it's not such a big deal and not something to worry about, but for your teenager it may feel like the end of the world. So it's important to validate their thoughts and feelings. Try to keep communication open. Now, I realise that this is not always easy, but if possible, if the situation allows it, to maybe use humour to keep the connection between you and your teenager. If, for example, your teenager is behaving in a negative way, it's important to be empathic, but also to have very strong boundaries. So you may be empathic in the sense of, yes, I realise you're going to be really disappointed if you don't go, but no, at 13 years old you can't take a train for 7 hours and go to a rave at 2 AM in the morning. So it's important to have a combination of both. Talking of boundaries, it's important to establish some clear boundaries. This would ideally be done as soon as possible in a child's life, but it's never too late to start implementing them. I think consistency is key here. If, for example, 1 week it's a no, and the next week it's a yes because you're too exhausted to argue, the teenager will actually see that as a, right, it's a possibility if mum is tired, or if I actually push her hard enough, then it's a possibility it's going to be a yes, and you're actually making a rod for your own back. So it's important to be consistent in your boundaries, because relenting will be a short-term piece, but a long-term battle to try and keep those boundaries in place. The next point seems to appear on most of my other videos, probably because it's a really important point, and that is to ensure that you take time out for you, in this case as a parent or as a carer. If you're finding life particularly tough, it's important for you to seek support from family, friends, or even a therapist counsellor. None of us handle things as well when we're stressed or exhausted, so it'll benefit you, but it'll also benefit your teenager as well. Pick your battles. You might have heard this expression before, but this is a really important one. If a teenager is screamed at or told time and time again to put their shoes away, and you say this morning, noon and night, they might not be so receptive to you talking to them about drugs, for example. So it's about picking your battles. I'm not suggesting that you ignore the shoe situation, but maybe to choose the subjects which you need to be heard with urgency, and which subjects may be a slow work in progress. Try to keep a consistent front. What I mean by this is that some teenagers might prod, push, challenge you to try and get a reaction. Keep your boundaries firm. Remove yourself from the situation if you need to. Don't get pulled into a debate of why they can't do something. A clear and precise explanation is enough. If you lose your temper, or if you say things that you didn't mean, or start debating, you might actually regret some of those words or some of those behaviours. If your child has experienced bullying, rejection, or is feeling lonely, then contact with animals can be a great healer. This could take the shape of working and helping out at a shelter, or walking a neighbour or friend's dog. This can really help your teenager to create a connection and feel needed and develop a sense of responsibility too. An important note on this: if you are thinking of buying or rescuing a pet, then please ensure that you have the time and the resources to be able to care for your animal. If possible and appropriate, do things together. Maybe surprise your teenager and yourself by doing something that your teenager wouldn't expect you to do. Maybe go race to the racetracks, or maybe go on a zip wire, go karting to have a makeup makeover, or maybe go to concert together. Whatever it is, this creates the glue between you, because it creates laughter, memories, overcoming fears together, and supporting each other, and maybe surprising each other too. I hope you will find some of the points in this video helpful. To understand what your teenager may be going through is an important starting point, but keeping communication open is a very close second. Sometimes, no matter what you say, what you do, or what you try, your teenager still seems out of reach. And in those times, you may want to have some support from organisations such as Family Lives or Young Minds in the UK, or whatever organisation is in your country, to be able to get the support you need. I hope you have found this video helpful, and if you would like to see more videos on mental health, relationship issues, parenting issues, then please press the subscribe button. And if you have any comments, anything that's worked for you or that you'd like to share with others, I'd love to hear from you. And thanks for watching.